I'm going to break camp here at Mount Sterling, and here's my tent tarp. I'm going to take it down and pack everything in my pack and show you kind of how it goes. Okay, so first I get the stakes out, and it's all wet. It was a nice rain thunderstorm last night. It was really exciting. Okay, I'm going to unstake it. You might wonder what is this thing on my leg? Okay, so I brought a very special device, an energy device called the MedSport Avasia, and this thing helps you recuperate from exertion and injuries and things like that. And so, like right now, I've got it on my calf muscle, and it helps to just like recover from the long hike that I did yesterday. It feels great too. You can feel it. You can just feel the soreness just going away. It feels amazing. So anyway, it was worth the wait. It was like 6 ounces, basically 6 ounces. Okay. Take all the stakes down, and also see it's dry here, it's wet here. It worked really well. I didn't really feel one drop on me, even though it was all open and everything, and the wind blowing and everything. This is a fir tree here with a lot of pitch coming out, so I don't want to touch it. I'll get my fingers all sticky, but it is medicinal, a really medicinal, powerful substance. You can harvest it and use it for a lot of things, not just medicine, but also practical things like actually, you know, think of pine pitch. It's pitch from a fir tree. It's even more medicinal than pine pitch. And actually you can use it on even outdoor gear. It's part of the formula. You put it with beeswax to make waterproof fabric. So that is what this rain parka has. Pine pitch in it, very similar to fir pitch. Oops. Every once in a while the Avasia, I have to reconnect it. Okay, take all the stakes out. Try not to get the wetness of the tent on the gear while you're doing it. Okay, see, it doesn't take long at all. Super simple. Okay, just one more thing, and that's right here. Plus you try to tie knots that are super easy to untie just by the pull of a string. This one didn't quite work that way, but it's good to keep things organized, such as have a stuff sack for a different stuff sack for each different type of item in your pack. For instance, clothes, food, tent, sleeping bag, stove, you know, all the different categories, first aid, like different bags. And it takes a while, like once you start out on a trip, you kind of wonder how you're going to remember where everything is, but after you've been out a couple of days, you usually start to like remember it, and it gets easier and easier. It's really not that different than being at home. You just have stuff sacks instead of like drawers and drawers and shelves and cupboards, you know, you have stuff sacks. You just organize in a different way. So, let's see. So this tent is very, very wet. I'm going to shake it out. I really would like to hang it out and let it dry, but usually that doesn't happen because you know, you're trying to leave camp. You can get on the trail again. It's just gonna, I think I'll, could take it up in the grass. Yeah, I take it up here in the meadow, put it in the sun while I pack the rest of the pack. Okay, now I'll start with everything else. So the first thing is there's an order to it. And I'm not looking at a checklist, but it kind of is intuitive in a way after. If you think it through and you know your gear, you know what needs first, second, and third. But so first, in my system, okay, so here's the backpack, and I'm going to empty it all out of anything that might be in there. Stuff sack, maps. Okay, so it's empty. Okay, so the first thing is put the pad in, and there's all these little pine needles, or let's say fir needles. That's what it really is. Okay, so roll up my pad, closed cell foam pad, and then stick it into there because it's going to create the circumference of the backpack is going to create a rigid internal frame. Okay, so that goes there. Then the next thing is sleeping bags and clothes and also they go in a waterproof sil nylon stuff sack. So here's the Lucky Sheep sleeping bag. Oh my gosh, it was so good last night. It was rainy and humid, and I was as dry as like a fire in there. Okay, and then the clothes, and then think through what I'm going to wear on the trail. Well, what I'm wearing here is pretty much what I'm going to wear on the trail this time. Because it looks like a sunny day. It probably is not going to rain. Although, this rain parka will be on the top of my pack, just in case. Okay, so base layer, merino base layers. Lots of merino. Let's see. Scarf. I use this mostly to cover my head, eyes, to keep so I can sleep late. After it gets light, I can still sleep. Okay, so here's all the clothes. I figure between these and the rain parka is probably about 4 pounds. I'll weigh it for sure when I get back. Okay, so here goes in with the sleeping bag, and then this goes into, actually I'm going to put just the sleeping bag in first. That slides down to the bottom. Clothes. And anything else that needs to be, if it rained, it needs to be kept dry, I would put in that same bag. But some things can get wet when it rains because it doesn't matter. Okay, so like this rain parka, of course, it can get wet. So can your tent. And actually, in my case, the food can too, because everything is in a Ziploc bag inside this bag, so this just gets wet, and then, remember, the food actually doesn't get wet, just the Ziploc bags on the outside. Okay, maps. Maps are going to go on one of the outside pockets where I can access it easy. Same with water bottles, which are basically almost empty. Thank God I had enough to get through the night, because there's no water. I'd have to walk 1 mile from here to get it. Okay, so water bottles go. I'll fill them up when I go by a stream on the way today on the hike. Water bottles go in the side pockets, and a hat goes kind of on top with that rain parka. Let's see, toilet kit, and it can kind of go on the outside pocket because you might need something on the hike. So let's see. And then this first aid kit, which it kind of goes with the Avasia. They're kind of part of the same thing. Okay, so this 2-pound first aid kit with the Avasia goes out near the top. Actually, it can get wet because it's kind of waterproof anyway. So put it on top of that stuff sack that's already in there. Then cooking kit, which is a stove, and also there's a pot here. So stove and pot, they kind of, I just leave them in with the food bag, kind of go together. Okay, what else? Food. Oh, wet clothes. Bring an extra Ziploc bag to put wet items in. Also, you want to dry them out when you can, but you don't want them to get everything else wet. Okay, so stuff sacks for the tents, for the tent parts. Okay, so let's see. So steaks. If I was near water, I'd wash them out. They're a little dirty, but I'm just going to put them right in there. And the tent is up there drying in the meadow. And it's going to go right here on the outside, so I can have my whole pack packed and then just put the tent in at the very last and let it dry off a little more. It makes it a little lighter, for one thing, to dry off. Okay, so I'm not going to wear this. I'm just going to pack everything. Let's see. This is a net tent that I would use if there were bugs, and it goes inside the tarp. And so far there hasn't been bugs on this trip, so it's just been extra. But it only weighs about 10 ounces, I think. Okay, so the next thing is the food. Since I'll be getting food for snacks and lunch, I will have this at the top of the pack. It is probably the heaviest thing. Yeah, it's still heavy, even though I only have one more night. Which is all right. I didn't know how much I was going to eat. It's probably about 6 pounds. Okay. Okay, so now, missed a stake, so gotta get my stake bag. Okay, so here I pick up the ground cloth. Pick up the ground cloth and shake it off. It's not wet. It stayed perfectly dry. Well, I mean, it is a little wet around the edges. All right, let's just, I didn't realize it. Slightly wet around the edges, maybe. Okay. Little sticks got in it. Okay. Oh yes, today I'm feeling like wearing my shoes. I've been wearing these the whole hike so far. But since it rained last night, everything's wet. I'm going to wear my minimalist boots, which are a soft star. They've only got a 1/4 inch thick sole and no support at all, completely flat. They're amazing. I really like these for boots. And these sandals are ridiculously effective for how nothing they are. They're just a thin piece of leather and a thong, and it's got me on 2 days of hard hiking with a backpack so far. So they'll be there. I can always grab them anytime I feel like it's dry enough to wear them. But they only weigh, I don't know, 8 ounces, 6 ounces, I don't know, but they're so nothing, it's really not a bother to carry them either. Okay, they gotta go on the outside, otherwise, you know, how am I gonna get them when I need them? And my boots go on in the same place when I'm not wearing them, and they don't weigh much either. Okay, so the food goes on top, and let's see. This is the bag that the tarp goes in. So okay, I'm gonna go get the tarp and pack it in here, and then put it in there. Hang on just a second. All right, well, it didn't dry off completely. It dried a little, but I'm gonna go ahead and pack it. Gets air in it. You have to work the air out. Little air bubbles. All right, yes. I am pretty pleased with my system that I've been working on for many, many years, really. Getting, just improving my backpacking system of gear. And you know, I've tried a lot of gadgets and things, and simplicity simplicity and effectiveness are what really count when it comes to gear. I'm going to squeeze the air out. Okay, so here, this goes, the outside pocket, right here. Oh, and I've made almost everything, literally almost everything in my pack. Like 90% of this gear is made by Lucky Sheep or something personally that I made for myself, or a prototype that's not available at Lucky Sheep. But many of these things are available at Lucky Sheep. You can buy them there. Okay, so, and this backpack is organic canvas with a treated with beeswax. It's not 100% waterproof, but it does shed water, and it keeps it off to an extent. And that's why, you know, you pack things inside in waterproof stuff sacks to keep them bone dry. Okay, so there it goes. Close the top of the bag. Okay, now everything, that's not mine. Everything that I'm carrying is in there right now, except the iPad, which is over there. So okay, so this, I'm going to put this pack on, demonstrate how to put it on. You know, you can put it on standing up, you can lean against a tree, or you can do it on the ground like this. This is one of the easier ways when you're first, especially learning how to do it, because I'm using it as a cross chest backpack strap system, and so I'm putting the two straps on. They're already adjusted to my hiking, to where I'll need them when I'm hiking. They're real tight because they're exactly where I need them, and so I'm not going to move it. So, and then the hip belt, I'll put it on when I stand up. Okay, so then you put it on, and then if you do this, it makes it really easy. It's kind of like doing yoga, where you get up on your side. Okay, so then from there I just stand up, and then I put the hip belt on like this. Okay, I'm ready to go. Up for a big day today.